All right, so welcome to play session number 3. So this one I like to call the plane, and it's really like the planar convergence. So we have Sorin, Nahiri, and Ugin, the 3 planeswalkers, kind of the prototype, I was gonna say Justice League, but it's the Oath of the Gatewatch. Staying in the heart of the secret location deep inside of Zendikar's mountain of Akum, surrounded by swirling mana in the palpable presence of the Eldrazi. So, okay, let's place some Eldrazi figures. So let's see here. We'll have them coming through the gate. Maybe we'll have some Eldrazi here. Okay, so you think about what this kind of game could look like. You might not necessarily want them to start this close. You probably want to be back here. Maybe, these are just Heroescape. What is it? The castle, the interlocking castle tiles. So you think about the Eldrazi start over here, the players start over here. You've got your 3 Planeswalker strike team, and then maybe the Eldrazi Ruiner again. Or if you wanted to, you could change it up where maybe there is no squads, it's just the Ruiner, or it's 2 Ruiners. Anything you kind of want to think or do, you can't go wrong with just having a good time. So, there's swirling mana, the presence of the Eldrazi before them, and the network of stones, hedrons. So I also have this 3D printed terrain piece of a hedron. You could also maybe just make a triangular piece out of wood, or maybe a wooden block, or some kind of Christmas ornament. That's why I really wanted to play with a lot of the base game stuff. I know Ugin's not a base game miniature, so you could also maybe get a little miniature dragon from maybe a necklace or a keychain, or I think I've seen them at the craft store again. They're called Safari Miniatures. Safari Ltd. I'll put like a little picture on the video to describe it. You could use that for your Ugin Dragon Planeswalker. This one is a 3D printed model, of course. So, the Eldrazi, drawn to the plane by Sorin's manipulation of its mana. The time has come for the 3 Planeswalkers to enact their plan. Each knows their role in the ritual that will forever bind the Eldrazi to this plane, sacrificing it for the good of the greater multiverse. Sorin addressing his companions. Say, where's my drink? Thirsty. The time has come, my friends. We must act swiftly and decisively if we're to succeed in the trapping of the Eldrazi here. Ugin, are you prepared to channel your magic? Ugin, I'm ready, Sorin. My invisible breath shall meet the Eldrazi's hunger with unyielding force. And, of course, are your players going to think of this kind of stuff? You could just have, one of them being like the leader, which it probably would have been Ugin, not necessarily Sorin. But according to the story, it was Sorin who was able to pull the hunger, but maybe because of his vampirism, he understands hunger, thirst, drive, need. He pulled them to the plane. Nahiri, so she stands there, and she can ask, maybe she turns towards the Hedron. What of the Hedron network, Sorin? Is it ready to channel the magic to anchor them to this plane for the eternity? Sorin, he looks, and he surveys. We must ensure that the Hedrons are aligned correctly, directing the ley lines of energy precisely as Ugin demands. Are you prepared to oversee their alignment? Nahiri nods. I am. Your guidance, we shall forge the bars of a prison which will hold the Eldrazi forever. So now, as Ugin, Nahiri, and Sorin prepare to enact their plan, the environment around them cracks with energy. The air thickens with anticipation. The fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance as they embark on their final trap for the Eldrazi. And so you could just really do, okay, well, how does this work? So a lot of the times I always mention that I like to do something new. I like to add some kind of new game element. I like to try to break the game. I like to try to figure out what it's capable of. I try to add role-playing elements. I try to add new characters. I try to add new locations. So what I was thinking here is, and very simply, and it's rudimentary, a mini game. Make the alignment of the Hedrons a mini game. I wouldn't necessarily say like moving these pieces to check their alignment. It's really going to be moving the alignment of this thing. So what does it come down to? It comes down to rolling the 20-sided die. Well, how does that work? Do you have to be adjacent to the Hedron to do that? Do you have to be far away? The game, you being a game master, you got to figure all this stuff out before you go and start the game as a mini game. So as part of my mini game here, I would say a chosen planeswalker, any one of them can help kind of align the Hedron. They have to, I guess it would have to be, a battle. She'd have to fight the Eldrazi. And I was going to say, actually, I guess all she'd have to do is probably get adjacent to it, and then instead of attacking, because like she just attacked, so you have to be like not adjacent to any opponents, enemies, or whatever. Basically, sacrifice your attack for the turn, and roll a 20-sided die, and try to align the Hedron. So maybe Ugin and Sorin could try to fight the Eldrazi menace while Nahiri stands there and she tries to align the Hedron. So maybe we could do that through the 20-sided die. So let's see. A 1 through 5, the Hedron resists alignment, and it actually causes a disruption in the ley line energy. And whoever tries to move the Hedron would take a wound. 6 through 10, the progress is slow. But they managed to align the Hedron with some effort. So maybe, you take the Hedron, you could it's hard because interlocking tile. You pick it up, then you just turn it. Is it alignment? Not necessarily, but you got it to change positions. 11 through 15, the Hedron aligns smoothly, channeling the energy with precision. And maybe a 16 through 20, the player exceeds all expectations and aligns the Hedrons flawlessly, and it definitely strengthens the prison for the Eldrazi. So if you you can fight the Ruiner, but if you get to align the network, then you don't have to fight him because you just imprison him forever. So let's roll a 20-sided die. I got a 6, so that's the slow progress. It would slowly move, but it's not necessarily in place. So I don't know. That's kind of how I take the game and I turn it into an RPG. You have the rich story, you have all the miniatures, you've got the terrain board, and just take every game. That not every game just has to be, like a fighting game where it's just one player versus another and they just battle it up. You can do that. But I like the rich storytelling elements. And so the way this one would end, as the players align the Hedron network, their efforts shape the very fabric of reality, forming a plane-wide prison that will forever hold the Eldrazi captive. And as the Hedron falls into place, a sense of unease washes over them, for the true test of their plan has yet to come. Because as we know, this doesn't keep the Eldrazi at bay forever. later, they will break free, and once they do, Nahiri sends out the signal, and she asks for Sorin to come, and he doesn't, and that is a problem. And she gets pissed off at Sorin, and she obviously brings the Eldrazi to Innistrad. She says, "If you don't come and help me, then I'm gonna bring them to you." And you think about how that can play out in another scenario. I actually really enjoyed kind of writing some dialogue for this adventure. I'm doing this as a favor to my friend Shri on the Discord channel, just kind of to describe how I make these into RPGs. I'd actually love to go back through and play this out as an actual campaign, and do a couple more storytelling elements, and try to figure out the actual mini game of the Hedron and play test it, and I think it'd be a great time. So there'll definitely be more videos in the future, of course, since this is just the beginning of the YouTube channel. And let's not forget. So the other thing was, so let me push this in. So I think Shuri was also kind of asking me, where else do you get ideas for games and stuff, right? And there's a whole rich wide world out there. So let me just adjust this. All right, so where else do I get ideas for my games and stuff? So this was one of the things that I got. It's called it's a book of random tables. It's cool, but you do need a D100. And the only problem with this is you need to know, oh, okay, well, I'm trying to think of something. Well, you need to remember what page the correct table is for what you're doing. So, for example, I'm on here for Seafaring Encounters. Roll, and it's only a 20-sided die. Okay, so today's adventure will have something to do with a ghost ship. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, with just the idea of getting an idea of a ghost ship, I could totally just take that and start to run with it. The other one that I got here is a book of random tables, but this one's specifically for quests. So let's see, town quests. So let's see, we'll roll that. Oh, a 20. So a quest in town. A gang of deserters have taken control of a small village. The people are living there in fear. Who will help them? So that kind of just sets up, well, why would two planeswalkers come and fight? Well, maybe one has sieged the town and the other has come to help the townsfolk. The other thing is, it is so cool that Dungeons & Dragons is also owned by the same company that makes Magic the Gathering. So we've also have this book. It's the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. So if you're looking to try to import Magic the Gathering stuff into something that can tell really rich stories and create a game, this is a great place to start. I mean, it's already it already knows a lot of stuff about the history of Ravnica, its people, the way the guilds work and everything. So this is a great place to go. I've actually designed several characters just by rolling for the stat blocks for their view, the way that they operate in the world. It's a very cool resource for that kind of thing. Once again, we also can just turn to just straight up Dungeons and Dragons. So I think about, oh, okay, well, what kind of monster do I want in my game today? Oh, I open up here. Oh, this looks like some kind of skeleton. Okay. Oh, some lizardman and skeleton. Okay, well, where could they be hanging out? Oh, maybe there's some kind of dungeon or cave that they live in, and that's where they operate. So, there's definitely a good resource there. This is also another older book. I think this one's like from 3rd edition, or this is a Dungeons & Dragons Diablo 2. So if you remember Diablo 2 by Blizzard, epic game, absolutely incredible. But can I take this and adapt it for AOTP? Well, hell yeah, I can. And you know what? It'd be a great time to do that. So you think about like what kind of quests, what kind of spells, what kind of abilities, what kind of dungeons are in here. I mean, you get all kinds of ideas just by opening a page or two. What kind of rumors were happening in the town? You know, you get a lot of good content. You don't necessarily need to know how to play Dungeons and Dragons. All you need to do is have a very strong imagination. This is another Dungeons and Dragons module. It's called the Lord of the Iron Fortress. And I've actually adapted this for a game, and I will do that again in the future. And I can't wait to make a video on it. And then last but not least, back to the world of Dungeons and Dragons, the Tyranny of Dragons. This is like a huge quest booklet. I think it takes the party from like level 1 all the way to level 20 or something. Yeah, so this has over 17 chapters from the beginning to the end till you go and fight the 5-headed dragon Tiamat. So you think about any one of these chapters. There's over 17 chapters in this book. And, you know, you just could go to, oh, okay, chapter 10, the Ice Caves. Let's go and hang out in the Ice Caves today and see what kind of adventure we can brew up just from the ideas that we get in this kind of book. So anyway, a long story short, there's plenty of stuff to pull from. It doesn't have to just be D&D. It could be Pathfinder. It could be any other game system that exists out there. It could be movies, TV shows, books, stories, fairy tales, anything that you could think of. You never know where you're going to kind of derive this inspiration from. And, you know, even huge blockbuster movies, movies that come out, I mean, you see the director and the commentaries, and they talk about how they get inspiration just by looking out at the bay from the bridge. And, you know, you never know where this kind of inspiration might come. So, you know, this is the kind of way that I operate. That's how I turn Magic the Gathering, Arena of the Planeswalkers, into an RPG. And once again, there's always a disclaimer. Just because I turn the game into an RPG, it doesn't mean during play session 2 that Nahiri, Sorin, or Ugin were destined to survive that encounter. If anything, Nahiri dies during the fight with the Eldrazi Ruiner. Well, she might not necessarily die, but she planeswalks away to save her life. Can she then come back during play session 3? Hell yeah, I'm not going to absolutely kill your character for no reason. I would figure that they would get weak enough that they just planeswalk away to survive and fight another day. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And this is what I do on a regular basis. And this is how I really transform Arena of the Planeswalker into something else. And there's plenty of stuff to pull from Magic the Gathering. It's very rich. Unfortunately, a lot of the older articles and stories that were available on the website are now gone. So we recently changed the website over, and a lot of the links got broken. So you really got to kind of do your homework if you're going to try to go back in time and find those old stories on the Wizards website. So I hope this has been helpful, and look forward to playing some games, and take care, and thanks for watching.